Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Karriem Kanston, the encourager, here to motivate you and inspire you in your life, your career, and your business. And we are talking about I am my brother's keeper, right? We're talking about I am my brother's keeper. And so tonight we're going to have a conversation about I am my brother's keeper. I'm going to bring on my brother Akbar to um, actually to talk with us, have a conversation with us, um, just about uh, about a lot of stuff. And so it's gonna be awesome, and I can't wait to we share around this topic. I want to thank you all very much. My name is Karriem Kanston, the encourager, here to motivate you and inspire you in your life, your career, and your business. And today we're going to be, talking about I am my brother's keeper and having a conversation of in reference to two brothers growing up in New York, sharing their experiences, and our goal is to share our experience and really just have a conversation, and just talking about things that we experience and as growing up, and we just want to share with people. So, this is an opportunity for to have a dialogue, opportunity for us to just talk. And so, I want to thank my brother Akbar for on this chat and this conversation. I want to thank everybody that is a part of this because listen, this opportunity for us to have a conversation, right? And so I think it's going to be a great opportunity for us just to have the talk, share our experience as brothers, share our experience as people. And
Hey,
yo, what's up, my brother? What's
all
going on?
right. How's it
Right,
going?
you are on, man, and hopefully you're connecting, and
Oh yeah,
hopefully your sound is working. And
right. It's
I don't
working.
hear you yet, so
Hold on one
check
second.
check your sound, and we're gonna get started. We're gonna talk to folks, have a
Can
have a
you
good
hear me now?
conversation. But thank you all for
Can you hear me?
jumping in. Listen, put comments in the comment section as my brother's getting his audio together. But we wanted to share, and I wanted to have a conversation, um, about two brothers growing up in New York, from the African, you know, diaspora, and really just trying to listen. Thank you all for the thumbs up. Thank you for the shares, because we're gonna share some information. We're gonna go for it. We're gonna and the goal is really is that there's been so many posts, about us as brothers. And so I was talking to my brother the other day, and it was very, very interesting. Um,
Can you hear me?
you know, I can't hear you yet, brother.
Uh,
You might want to try to go straight to your phone versus your Bluetooth. Um, but everybody else, I
Let me
know that
see.
other people probably could definitely hear me. But I want to lay out, this conversation. Right. I want to lay out this conversation for everybody. And how about you go out, and then come back in? All right.
All
I want
right.
I want to lay
All right.
this conversation out for people. And as we know, there's been much things happening in the world. I were was talking, and we were talking about our experience and what we experience as African men here in the United States, and we were talking about stories about what happened when there was some issues there. All right, so all right, my wife said I can hear him, so let me check my audio then. So let me check my audio, make sure my audio is working. So when he comes in, but listen, um, the biggest thing that we want to share with people is kind of like our experience. All right, we want to share with people our experience. We want to share with people, um, you know, being, African men in uh, the United States, kind of like some of the things that we experience. And, the huge thing is that we want to tell our story. All right. The story of as my brother's connected, and hopefully I can hear you. It's
Can
time.
you hear me now?
I can hear you, brother. Good.
All
It was
right.
on me. It was on my end. I was trying out
Okay.
new
All
technology
right.
myself. So,
All
this is my
right.
brother Akbar Kanston. He's one of my oldest brothers. I'm the youngest of three brothers. And so, listen, Akbar, say hello to everybody that's watching tonight.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. How y'all doing? Good evening.
Awesome, man. Listen, if you all have any questions for us as we're talking, pop them in the chat section. But you know, um, I want to start with this, right? This is a conversation, right? We're gonna have a conversation, right? A
Okay.
conversation between two brothers of African descent, and so two brothers of African descent, and so
Mm-hmm.
as we frame this, I'm just going to share a little bit of our history, right? So
Okay.
we are the sons of Angela and Harry Kanston, all right? Say that again. We are the sons of Angela and Harry Kanston. Our grandparents, we use these two names. Cody's side is my mom's side, and Kanston's side is my father's side. And so the Cody side, the history comes from North Carolina, Florida. The Kanston side comes from Ohio and Virginia. All right. And I'm going to say this again. We are the sons of Harry and Angela Kanston. We give them much respect, much due. Give a lot of respect. My father is not living here on the earth anymore, but my mother is. All right, and so we were born in New York City, and we wanted just to have a conversation. So you and I were talking, just about our interactions, in New
Right.
York. One of the things we talked about the Rodney King, right? 1992,
Right.
stuff
Right.
was blowing up, and so that kind of brought up a bigger conversation where I said, listen, how about let's have a conversation, period, on Facebook Live and kind of share our
Right.
experience. So, I don't know if you want to, based on just like my quick historical stuff, you wanted to say anything. And then we can kind of get into the conversations of our experience of being, African men and stuff like that.
Right.
So go ahead.
Right. Okay. Well, basically, just to agree on what what you said about where we come from, our descendants, our grandparents. All of that is correct. Um, do you want me to talk about the Rodney King thing right now, or
Just before we go that deep, right? I don't want to go
okay,
too deep
okay,
into that yet,
right,
but
right.
what does it feel like growing up as being a person of African descent? You know, so
Well, uh, growing up as a black man from New York City, born in Brooklyn, New York, 1975. Um, it wasn't that difficult, I guess,
yeah,
because we passed the slavery era, the Martin Luther King era, Malcolm X, the 60s. It wasn't that difficult, but you know, I did, as a young black man, I did kind of experience some of that, I guess you could say, racism, or kind of being looked at as a minority, or less than in certain situations, you know. So I did experience a little bit of that. It was kind of a little rough, but it wasn't too bad. I would say the 80s, the early 80s, the mid 80s. I coming from an era where we didn't have cell phones and all the technology we have now, I would say to me, the 80s was the best times, you know, growing up in those times. To me, they was
Okay.
definitely the one of the best, I guess you could say, decades or time in my generation, you know, because we got this, we was in that era where we didn't have all the technology that we have now and some of the things we have now, you
So
know,
true.
even though the technology helps, but growing up then we got to you know experience some things that this generation will never experience, and it was just different back then, you know.
That's right. Talk
So
talk talk talk
you
about
know
talk about the '80s, man. Listen, when you were trying to get a what type of you talk about technology? Like the phone was what? It wasn't in your hand. Well, some people had
uh
like maybe car phones, but you know,
right, you know, we before cell phones, you know, we had pay phones on the corners. We had to keep change in our pocket, go to the pay phones on the corners, you know. We had beepers, you know. It's much different, you know. We played outside more, we did more things outside, you know. We had video games. Yes, we had video games, you know, what they call entertainment systems in the house, Nintendo and all that, but we played outside more, rode our bikes more, did more outside activities than
that's
this
right.
generation, you know. um it was just different, you know. It was just different, you
I hear you.
know.
I hear you.
Oh man, it was just totally different, and I miss those days. And you know, we had the rotary phones in the house. Everybody shared one phone, a house phone. Everybody had to use that one house phone. You know, we didn't have cable TV. You know, we didn't have remote control, so it just growing
Oh
up in
yeah,
those days.
we had remote controls, man. It had three buttons on it.
Yeah, but that was probably like late '80s or maybe mid
Yeah.
'80s when you started seeing remote controls and all that. You
Yep.
know, I
Yep.
remember those days where we had to get up and just turn the channel. We ain't have cable. We didn't get cable probably till late '80s. You know, maybe almost
VHS and
'90s.
what is it? VHS,
Yeah,
UHF.
VHS, VCRs. We had the
Yep. Yep.
VCRs and all that. So
Hey,
you know those.
anybody still having VCR? You know, anybody? I do. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I, I don't.
I got a
I
VCR.
don't. I don't. I think the last VCR I had was probably in early 2000. I think
For real.
like maybe around 2000. I think that's the last time I had a VCR. You know, but those were the days. Those were the days. You
Those are the
know,
days,
those were the
man. You
days.
know, and we was born in the '70s, right? You know, grew up
Yeah,
in the '80s, and
yeah.
became men in the '90s, and then now
Oh
we're in
yeah.
the 2020. So
2020.
it's a
2020.
new thing, man. So it's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
And people can relate to that, and so um,
Right.
let's talk about all right. Let's talk about you and I. So you and I like what 13 months apart, do you believe?
Somewhere. Yeah, probably about that. Yeah, about 13
Right?
months. Yep.
So we're very very close age. I'm half of '88. You're half of what is it 90 now?
90. Yep.
It's,
Or
so
half. Yeah, half of 90. Yep.
right.
Mhm.
So I like half. I don't know why, but
Right.
as we talk, man, and we talk as in high school together, going through the same schools,
Right.
high school and a bunch of other places, and it's very interesting, um, you know, uh, because where we were, and so
Mhm.
as it relates to being of African descent, and the reason why I say African descent because our ancestors were brought to America not
Mhm.
because they wanted to come here, because they were brought here as for slavery. And so
Right. Right.
The reason why I say that, because it's kind of a different thing to say, we're not immigrants, right?
Right.
We
Right.
didn't migrate here because we wanted to be here. We were brought here.
Mhm.
And so that's our lineage, that's our history, that's where we came
Right.
from. And so, our ancestors paid the price for us to be
Mhm.
where we are today. And so
Right.
um, that's something to think about, And as I was listening to Reverend Al Sharpton the other day, and he, at George Floyd's funeral, and he was talking, and what hit me hard is like, it's like every time I sign my name, I'm signing my slave master's name that was given to
Mm.
me. And
Right.
that thing touched me. So that's why I was like, man, I got to come on, brother, have a conversation. So,
Mm.
as we all know, a man named George Floyd lost his life, you know,
Mhm.
at the hands of law enforcement. And,
Right.
we'll talk about a conversation about our interactions with law enforcement. And, this is not a conversation to bash law enforcement, because we have family that are law enforcement. We
Mhm.
have people that serve this country, so this
Right.
this is not that. It's a conversation to say, from our view, our experience, what has it been. So listen, um, let's talk about 1992. All right, let's dive in.
Okay.
Right, Rodney King was assaulted, beat up, and and I'll let you finish the story. But we always, when we went to high school in St. Albans, Queens, Andrew Jackson High School, right now it's called something else, Campus Magnet. Um,
Mm.
we had to take two buses to get home. So as
Mhm.
we get off, one bus to actually go to our second bus,
Mhm.
there was rioting going on because of Rodney King on Jamaica Avenue. And so
Mhm.
you could finish the story and
Yeah.
tell us a story about what transpired, what happened, and I'll interject a little bit, but you know
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't remember the exact date. I think it I know it was when the officers that beat up Rodney King, I think it was when they got acquitted.
mm,
When they got acquitted. Um that's when it I think it was around 92. And so a lot of the high school students and maybe some of the middle school students, I know in Queens, I don't know about any other state or any other city, but I know in Queens they decided to walk out of school early because they was upset that these officers got acquitted. So everybody walked out of school. I know at least in our high school,
yeah,
um, people was students was leaving early and they decided to go up on Jamaica Avenue, which is a big shopping district in Queens, New
right.
York, and they decided to start looting stores. They was running across.
Yeah, run across Jamaica Avenue, as our brother was saying, and it was no joke.
There was protests going on, right? There was issues going on during that time because a person, lost his life, and not lost his life. A person got beat up. So we talk about 1992. Ronnie King, and my brother was just explaining. Um, you know, people were protesting um, about the Rodney King 1992 issue, and so he was about what was happening on Jamaica Avenue, and so
Hello.
yeah, yeah. As he comes back on, go ahead. Keep on explaining
Yeah,
about
we
where
got
people
we
were. You
got
talk
cut
about
off.
Jamaica Avenue.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened. We got cut off, but
So good.
yeah. So students and high school kids or whatever, they was running across Jamaica Avenue, cars and all kind of crazy stuff like that. So it was me, you, Karriem, and I think one of our friends. I don't know which friend, or we was walking. We wasn't doing anything. We wasn't looting. We wasn't doing nothing crazy. We just trying to get home.
That's right.
So we get off one bus, as you said, we got off one bus and we walk into Sufton Boulevard to get the next bus. And all of a sudden, these undercover police officers get out of the car, throw us against the wall, slap me in my face. One of them slapped me in my face. And so I get upset and run down the street, find a glass bottle, throw the glass bottle at the police officer, and it lands in front of his feet. And all of a sudden, all these police officers start chasing me. So, I run down to Sufton Boulevard, jump in one of the gypsy cabs, what we call a dollar cab.
All right. Let me stop you before you go. You go further. So right. So my brother's explaining that there was protests, and then there was people looting and breaking windows in Queens. We weren't a part of it, but undercover cops jumped out on us and actually started messing with us, saying that we were a part of that, right? So what he's explaining is that many men of the African diaspora, right, that is here in America, are already labeled as they are in trouble, right? And so we were going home, and undercover cops jumped out on us because they thought that we was part of the rioting going on in 1992 or rioting cake. So all right, so he hit my brother, right? Let him go. So my brother threw a bottle at him, and he was defending himself. So what happened after that?
So next thing you know, after I throw the bottle, all these police officers chasing me. So I'm running. I run down to Sufton Boulevard, trying to get away, jump in one of the dollar cabs, scared for my life because first of all, he slapped me in my face for no reason. So I jump in the dollar cab, and they caught up to me. The dollar cab, I was trying to tell him to pull off. He didn't pull off. So they pulled me out the dollar cab, threw me on the ground, putting their knees in my back, telling me to put my hands behind my back. So it's probably about at least 6 officers there, undercover and regular police officers with uniforms. So they arrest me, throw me in a police car, which is the undercover police car. And I'm in there with 5, one driver, and the police officer that slapped me in my face, he's sitting in the front, and 2 other police officers in the back with me. And I'm in the middle. So they driving me to the police station. So I'm under arrest now for no reason. And they drive me to the police station. The police officer that slapped me in my face, he's cussing me out, talking about if that effing bottle would have hit me, you scumbag, this and that. I would have killed you. So I'm scared for my life. I'm thinking they're gonna take me somewhere and kill me or do something, beat me up. So so they take me to the police station, book me. I get arrested, they book me in, and I'm there for the night. So, and this is what, 1992.
92, man.
And you look at, compared to what's going on now with George Floyd, that, just think about it. And I never really thought about it. I could have been him. You know what I'm saying? At that time, that could have been me. So the next day I go to court, whatever. And when that's going on, when I'm running, you was running. Yep. and you sprained your ankle trying to run, So I go to court the next day, and Marion came. She came to court, and I think you came, but you was on crutches.
Yeah, man. Messed up.
you was on crutches because you sprained your ankle running.
Yeah.
And
if you think about it, man, I haven't thought about that in a long time until we was talking the other day, and that's why we wanted to share a conversation with people. Is that just think about that you were already labeled as a person that you were doing something wrong, but you weren't doing something wrong.
Nothing.
And then now the people that were there to protect you was also the people that was actually attacking you, right? And then now you're trying to defend yourself to get away from these people because if they didn't say, listen, we're cops, we have a question, we want to question you. They just got out, try to rough us up, rough you up, we all ran
Mm-hmm.
because we weren't doing anything wrong, and then now it becomes
Mm-hmm.
you being arrested and
Right.
myself almost breaking my ankle trying to get away
Right.
from hostile law enforcement. So you know
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
thinking about that, that's when we were teenagers. We weren't men.
Right.
And so
Mm-hmm.
just think about young people having a stain, an imprint in their mind about an incident
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's no
Yeah.
joke. No joke.
Yeah.
You know.
It's not. It's not. And growing up as a black man in America, that's, I was telling someone, I think the other day, that probably 80 from my generation, probably at least 70 to 80% of black men been in handcuffs at least one time.
Mm.
You know, I would say at least 70%. For and a lot of times there's no reason. You know what I'm saying? It's just, no reason. So, you know, and like you said, we had law enforcement in our family. I don't have nothing against police officers, because I know a lot of police officers, friends. I have friends that was police officers, family, you know. I don't have anything against police officers, but what's going on now, I believe what happened to George Floyd, may he rest in peace. I believe it's going to change the world. I believe is definitely going to make a change in
Mm.
this society in America.
Yeah,
I really do.
yeah, man.
Because in my lifetime, I never seen where there was, I think they said all 50 states, somebody's protesting in all 50 states.
That's
And
right.
I think they even said it is even in 26 countries,
Wow.
so, and it's the first time I ever seen something like this since I've been living. So
Yeah, it's true, man.
I believe it's going to make a change.
It's
I believe
true.
it's
It's
going to make
true.
a change.
And the thing about it is that we can't just
Hmm.
allow it to just stop. The action, the
Nah.
movement, the
Hmm.
talking. You know,
Right.
one of the things, man, that hit me hard is that I could see
Hmm.
George Floyd in me, right?
Hmm.
I could
Hmm.
see his skin. I could see him being from the African diaspora. I could see him as
Hmm.
he was my brother.
Right.
And
Hmm.
then when I go back and I have conversations with people about what I have experienced or what others have experienced, you're like, man, this stuff is no joke. And a lot of people, I have friends all, some people are on the left side, right side. Listen, I'm on nobody's side. I'm on the
Right.
side of loving people and respecting people. But
Hmm.
when systems have been set up, right? The systems have been set up to already, as somebody said, put you in your place or give somebody power
Hmm.
over you.
Hmm.
It's no joke, man. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I still to this day, I'm gonna be honest with you. Listen, I was driving the other day on a highway and just seeing a police vehicle. Um, you know, I I I flinched, you know, because what I flinched was I was saying in my mind, what what doesn't what doesn't look like if I don't comply.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
What if
Yeah.
if you don't comply, what would happen? What would happen to you? And
Hmm.
that is the thing that a lot of people don't know. Hey, Jason put up a post here. What do you think when it means to you, like protests have stand for something? Or what is the change that needs to happen? Because I don't know how to make cops less hostile or less racist. I don't even know where that begins. So what is winning and how do we accomplish that? That's a good question, Jason, man. Thanks for that question.
Mm.
Hey, what's up, Diane? How you doing? Thanks for coming in. One of my good friends.
Mm.
What does, and both of us can answer that. What does winning look like? Let me tell you something. I'm not about, this is me personally. I'm not about winning. What I'm about is how can we understand that there has been systematic laws and policies and procedures put into effect years upon
Mm.
years that have allowed people, right, to have power and authority over other people. And so
Mm.
somebody's not gonna win and somebody's not gonna lose. And it's about us coming together in unity and trying to work together where we can work together on common ground. And that's gonna be hard, right? Nobody, like, you see now people are talking about, defund police departments, right? And people are like, we can't do that because we're gonna miss out the law enforcement. But what radical things we have to do is gonna not be in a lot of people's benefit. So it's not gonna be easy, and I don't think anybody's gonna win. I think everybody's gonna lose in order to make progress go forward. So you can answer that question if you want to go.
Yeah, hold on. I was trying to make this a little louder. It started raining real hard. You probably hearing it in the background.
That's all right. We can still hear you, man. We can still hear you.
Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, we definitely got to come together. I think this is waking a lot of people up, and making them realize that we have to work together. We got to come together. And I'm happy to see that it's not just African American or black people out there protesting. It's all kind of people out there protesting. Because people are fed up with what's going on.
That's right.
And I think it's really waking people up and let them know we gotta band together and work together.
I'm telling you, man.
For all humanity, for all humanity.
Yeah.
Because and I don't believe looting is the answer, but at the same time, it's definitely. Sometimes you have to do certain things to get people attention, but the excessive looting, I don't believe that's the answer, but we definitely need to work together to try to make a change, we definitely need to, in this society, because it's been happening too much in the last maybe 3 years. It's just too many black men being killed, and not just black men, black women. They being killed by police officers. Innocent black men and women being killed by police officers. It's just been happening too much, and it's just enough is enough.
That's right.
Right. So
hopefully, the interesting thing that you're saying, and I'll share this so people. What happens when a child, is upset? Think about it, right? What happens? When a child gets upset, they throw a tantrum, and I think we're in that place where, people are throwing tantrums and they're acting out, and that's what's happening.
Yeah. It's like you when you're being oppressed or you're being pushed up against, you're being cornered in, blocked in, and you have no other choice, but
right. I'm just gonna put my phone on landscape. So
yeah,
cool.
It's like they have no choice but to act out, and because sometimes when you just trying to be peaceful and talking, they're not listening, but I don't believe in you should burn down your own community, your own where you live at.
I agree with that.
But yeah.
Yeah, man, it's not easy, man. We wish it was easy, but it's not,
Yeah.
And we just got to keep on moving on, and please, if anybody has any questions, because I think my land, please feel free to ask us any questions. Feel free to throw some questions out to us. Listen, we love questions, man. Questions are good, and so please, the goal is, everybody, is that we want to share information that will impact others, right? We're sharing our story as men of Africa, from the African diaspora, about, you know, our experience, you know, what we've been through, and, you know, what we felt and what has happened. And, you know, the reason why I made this post, I am my brother's keeper, was that, you know, I feel that as brothers, we have a responsibility, right? And I know that a lot of brothers are not close. A lot of brothers don't talk, but, you know, I know we talk a lot. You know, we also have an oldest brother, Hassan, also, and, you know, basically give him big ups and big respect, because if not, he'll probably be saying, "You give me a shout out," because he's always giving us a shout out. You know, so you know, anything else you want to share? Any questions that people might have for us? You know, feel free to let us know. We just want to share. We just want to share with folks.
I want to say also, you know, being 45 years old, I'm blessed. I thank God for letting me live this long, because there's I know a lot of people that didn't make it this far, you know. I've seen a lot, been through a lot, you know, and just to the young people, and to any black man, or any young man, or even men our age, you just can't, you can't fear. You can't go through life fearing. You know, you have to just keep pushing on, no matter what.
No matter what,
just
like that.
No matter what, you just got it. You can't fear nobody but God. Just keep going. Don't fear nobody but God.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah, no fear nobody but God. I like that.
Don't fear nobody but God. Just keep pushing, no matter what. You know.
There's some people on here. Like, there's some people on here saying that they just learning. They just want to learn some stuff, and you know, what should they be learning, Ak?
What should they be learning?
Yeah.
From this conversation.
Yeah. Or just period. What should they be learning? Some people put it here. I'm just trying to learn something new, and understand more every day.
I mean, the only thing I could really say is, okay, if you get pulled over by a police officer, don't try to be big and bad. Don't you know, just comply with the police officer. You know, do what he tells you. Because I've been pulled over a few times, and just comply. Because soon as you act like you want to do something, that's when they want to jump at you. I mean, there's some of them that just would do something for no reason, but just comply with the police officers. You know, I had one of my cousins gave me a book. My cousin Lisa, she gave me a book when I think I was in high school. It's called A Little Black Book, and it just tells you things to do as a young black man. And one of the things was how to act when a police officer pulls you over or walks up to you. If you're walking down the street, you know, just try to just do what the police officer says, you know.
And if you and so what happens if you fear for your life, though?
Yeah, I mean, if he's doing something that you know is out of order, and you know he's trying to take your life or something, yeah, you have the right as a human being to fight back. By all means necessary. I would say by all means necessary. You know, if you're in a position like George Floyd, you know, I hate to talk about the dead, but if you're in a position like he was, hey, you just do what you got to do to get out of that if you can, you know, because nobody wants to be killed, you know. So I would say comply, but
that's powerful,
if
man.
you know they trying to take it, yeah, just do what you got to do, you know.
when you just said that, what resonated with me, that nobody wakes up nobody wakes up in the morning that they're put it no sane person wakes up in the morning that they're gonna die that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
What we witnessed was so tragic, was so messed up that I think everybody was outraged. Jason, thank you all for the questions. He's like, who's your role models and who should you listen to? My role model number one, I'm gonna say, who's your role model? That's what Jason asked. My role model number one is definitely God. Because I gotta count on him to get through the day. I gotta count on him to have breath in my body. And so one of the things is, as we've been sharing, we're just sharing a conversation of us having a talk the other day about what transpired in 1992 with Rodney King and all my experience with dealing with racism and things like that. This situation with George Floyd has brought so much stuff up. Sometimes we should. So it's no joke, man. So the thing about it is that nobody understands your experience except you. Truly, right? Nobody will understand what you've been through, how you've been hurt. How did you feel? How are you supposed to react? Right? People say, "Hey, listen, people shouldn't react this way. They should react that way." But how do you react when you see a family member killed? How do you react when the person that was supposed to protect you is now the person that is hurting you? How do you supposed to react? You know what I'm saying? Like it was an interview of a gentleman, and he's I think an MMA fighter or a karate fighter or something. And he was saying to the police officer, "Stop, man, stop." And he kept on saying it because he knows what a chokehold can do to somebody. And to see the pain and the burden of him not jumping in and fighting with the police officer on him was no joke. That thing almost, it broke me down because he wanted to help, but because he saw so much power, because he saw a gun, because he saw all those people, he didn't jump in. He thought he was going to get killed, but no, he was going to get arrested. So there's a time when we have people, we have a burden of people. I guess I'm talking a little bit, but Ak, you want to share anything? And thank you all for putting all those comments in the post in the comment section. If anybody has any questions for us, please put them in the comment section, and we'll try to answer them as best as we can. We're just having a conversation, telling our story.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's tough. Like you said, when you right there and you seeing somebody in that position, and it's like you said, you see authority, you see guns, you can't really do much because they could easily just kill you too. But I mean, for the young people, I would say the young generation that's coming up now, I would say if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time and you're doing, things you shouldn't be doing, things will happen. Police will pull you over, things will happen. And sometimes it might look bad. You might think they wrong, or it might look bad, but they could be saving you from something even worse. You could have been doing something wrong and they pull you over, but they could have been saving you from getting killed, or so that's why I say just
Wow.
Just comply. There were times when I've been pulled over or whatever, but if you think about it, things happen for a reason. It could have been saving you for something worse down the road, So things might look bad at certain times, but that don't mean it's always
Always
bad
been.
or the worst thing, So just for the young people, just
You said just for the
try to stay out of trouble.
just for the young folks.
Yeah, I mean, not just the young folks, but everybody. But for this generation coming up now, this new generation, just try to stay out of trouble, because sometimes you could be in the wrong place or doing something you're not supposed to be doing, and something could happen to you because you wasn't supposed to be doing that anyway.
Mm.
So I've been in them situations, and then later on you think about it, like, oh, okay, why did this happen to me? But like, okay, but I mean, I wasn't out there protesting. Sometimes I felt like I should be out there protesting from what just happened with George Floyd. I didn't go out there protesting, but sometimes I felt like I should have been. um, but I just, like I said, I hope this makes a change in the world. I hope, and I think it will. I
That's right.
think it will. I think we in this day and age where things are really changing. We just went through a pandemic. We still going through a pandemic, the COVID-19, and this is happening at the same time.
Right.
So I think we in that time, we in those times where things are really changing. So, and I just hope something good will come out of it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, listening to a lot of people, a lot of people are talking about, what's the next step? Everybody's, what's the next
Mhm.
step? There has to be a next step. There has to be something done. It has to be.
Mhm.
It's tough, man, because it's like so many things have to be done.
Mhm.
Like so many things, and it's
Yeah.
like, what's the number one? What happens first? And that
Mhm.
is that is tough to say which one happens first. I mean, one, I think the number one priority is actually you need to respect, pray for, and take care of the family of George Floyd.
Mhm.
That means, you need to pass a law. That means that the as
Mhm.
Minneapolis, some of the people are saying that they need to defund the police, shake up the police, change it, break it up.
Mhm.
I mean, listen, I know a lot of, like, I was listening to one of my friends earlier. So, a lot, I'm a listener, even though I'm good at, sharing and stuff. Thanks, Jason, for that question, but I'm not gonna share about what I think about Joe Biden. So, because we're just having a conversation, right, on a different topic, and not
Mhm.
making things political. And so, one of the things with talking to my friend, man, he felt, upset about certain things, and I didn't agree with him on certain things. And, I think everybody could look at what happened to George Floyd and say it was wrong, right? Anybody that sits there and says that was right to do to that man, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what they think. But the thing about it is that, what can we do for humanity? How can we help other people that don't live in the same neighborhood, that don't look like us, that we don't know? That's what I believe the creator is calling on us to do. And a lot of people don't want to put aside their differences in order to work. They feel that I need to be on this side versus that side, right? I need to take a stand for this and not for that. What we are called to do is to love other people, no matter if they agree with us or not. Like, I remember having a conversation with my supervisor and telling her we have the right to disagree. We have the right to disagree, but we don't have the right to take power in our own hands and make a judgment call to take somebody's life. We don't have the right. Only God has the right to do that. But many people have done that. This is covering all different races, different nationalities. People have made a decision that they feel that they can take somebody else's life. We don't have the right to do that. And so we have to take a stand and say, that wasn't right. And how do we fix it? We change laws. We change policies. We change procedures. Listen, man, I'm the number one person to say, listen, I don't care. Let's change everything we need to change. People don't want that because that's a hard thing to do. It's easy to keep something going and kind of make a couple of tweaks, but kind of like, just change everything. Like Samuel L. Jackson said, how about we just blow up every policy and procedure and rework it to where it needs to be? Some people don't do that, So I don't know. Anything else you want to share on that?
Well, it's kind of funny too, because today I was watching the movie Selma. I don't know if you remember the movie Selma, and how Martin Luther King and the SCLC they marched in Selma, Alabama, and they was fighting for changes and segregation, integration, and so and those leaders, Martin Luther King, all those leaders from those days, they fought, they kept fighting to make a change. They didn't stop until, and a lot of them, most of them died fighting.
Yeah, man.
Most of them died fighting. So, and I was watching that movie, and it just it's almost like what's going on now. They marched across that bridge, and they got beat the second time they did it. They got beat by the police. Trying to march over the bridge and trying to make a change, and they kept fighting until finally the authority gave in. The president, the police officers, they gave in, and so we have to keep fighting until you make a change. You can't give up. You can't give up.
Listen,
can't bow down.
I remember I do these sessions every Tuesday on leading through crisis using John Maxwell content, and one of the things I tell people, listen, in order for the reshape gold, it has to go through a burning purification process, and a lot of people don't want to go through the crushing process, right? People don't want to go through the change. Oh, we've done it this way for 10, 20, 30, 400 years. And we don't want to change it. The law was set in place in this day and that. Listen, we got to amend laws. We got to amend policy. We got to amend practices. Not because some of those practices were relevant in that day, but they're not relevant in today's day, right? And we talked about earlier about nowadays the technology is different. Listen, there was no cell phone back in the day, right? Right? There was a progression. Beepers, cell phones. There was no cell phone, but now you have the stuff on camera. People are becoming their own news reporters, and now people have to make a decision. It's either you're for good or you're for bad. And I'm for the good, right? And you have to make a decision because now goodness is speaking up more than badness. I'm just saying, man. Like one of the things, I was blown away by one of the historians was saying that back in the day when people were killed from the African diaspora, we were hung out in the public square. We were sometimes our body parts were put on shelves so people could see, to bring fear and terror into it's almost like the Romans would do it, right? They would kill you and hang you up on wood, and to put you out there to let people know that if you try something, this will happen to you. And yes, a lot of people don't want to go down that road and hear the word, but what happened to George Floyd was a lynching in the public square.
Mhm.
A
Yeah.
brother was killed for what?
Mhm.
I don't even know if the cop can even say why he did what he did, because there was no justice. There was no following
Mhm.
policies on that. But but
Mhm.
if we don't speak up, if we don't say, man, listen, that was wrong.
Yeah.
If we can't share our conversation, and like black men can't even tell their kids like what to do, because they don't even know what
Mm.
to say anymore. Should you
Yeah.
not cross the street? Should you not go into that neighborhood? Should you not do that? A brother
Mhm.
was running down the street, right, and he was killed for running down the street and walking into a property that other people walked into the property. Right?
Mhm.
He was
Mhm.
hunted. He was killed on video. One of the persons that was after him
Mhm.
recorded the video, and then he's gonna say
Mhm.
that I didn't have anything. I wasn't involved with that. Yes, you recorded the
Mhm.
video because you probably is gonna take the video and show it to other people. If you come into this
Mhm.
neighborhood, this is what's
Mhm.
gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
But just think about
Mhm.
it. Listen, just what blew my mind. I was like, just
Mhm.
imagine if all the protesters go buy guns and start walking in the street with guns. What would happen to all the protesters? I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe
Yeah.
maybe I'm not talking about inciting violence. Maybe people need to do that, right?
Do
People
that.
use
Mhm.
use the Constitution. You have the right to bear arms. Well, maybe everybody needs to
Mhm.
go out and get a gun and walk in the street peacefully and see what
Mhm.
somebody would do.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not inciting violence. I'm just saying there comes a time
Right.
when
Mhm.
people get to a breaking point. You know,
Mhm.
when people have mental illness because their mind came to a breaking point. Their mind broke down,
Mhm.
couldn't take the stress, couldn't take the pressure, couldn't take the stuff, and that's why people put on medication. And
Right.
I think people are at a breaking point. Their minds broke, their spirit broke, and they don't know what to do. Right? We
Mhm.
are in this world is in a crisis, just not a COVID
Mhm.
crisis, but a humanity crisis.
Mhm.
And I pray for all the leaders of the government, local, state,
Mhm.
and federal, because listen, leaders have a lot of power, and they can make decisions. They got either move the this nation forward, or they can actually take this nation way back to bad places. And I pray for all leaders. I don't care who you are, what politician or whatever, what party you in, because you can make a decision that can actually kill me. Listen, when I took the oath as a being in the armed forces, after I
Mhm.
swore in, I took my oath. They say now you're property of the United States of America.
Mhm.
The commander in chief, if there's a war, he can tell you where to go. The generals could tell you where
Mhm.
to go. They tell you when to wake up, tell you when to shower. Right? When I was sick and they thought I wasn't sick, they came to pick me up from my house and it took me to the hospital.
Mhm. Mhm.
So people in power can make decisions that could bless us or hurt us.
Mhm.
So this stuff is
Yeah.
heavy, man. The decisions for
Yeah.
leaders that are coming up, the politicians, the people in power, the people that say that they're
Mhm.
leaders of the community, is going to be huge, and people are watching. People are watching what you're going to do,
Mhm.
you know. And so,
Mhm.
and people
Yeah.
are watching what we're going to do. Right?
Mhm. Yeah.
I have a person that said to me, I don't even know how to approach you, Karriem, because I don't want to offend you, because things are so tough
Mhm.
now. And I tell them, listen, ask all the questions you want. And if you don't
Mhm.
agree with me, that's fine. And if you do agree with me, that's fine also, but I'm still love you and respect you.
Mhm.
I don't know if
Yeah.
anybody else has any questions or that they want to ask us, or, but as, as a man, as you call yourself a black man, you know, uh, what frightens you going forward?
Uh, it's hard to say really, cause I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't nothing really. I just you know I see what's going on now. I believe God is letting certain things happen, and God is doing certain things, you know, to make a change in the world. And I kind of like some of the things that's going on because I think it's bringing people back down
Mm.
to you know, is to earth. You know, I believe there's a lot of things that's been going on in this decade that's just been out of this world, and I think God is doing things to to bring back people back down to reality. You
That's
know,
right.
so I mean, nothing really frightens me. You know, I just try to take it day by day. You know, yes, when I see police officers in my rearview mirror, you know, I kind of say, oh, are they gonna pull me over? What should I do if they pull me over? You know, I think about that stuff when I see police officers, but really, nothing really frightens me going forward. You know, I just, you know, I just pray for this. You know, I just pray for everybody. I pray that this doesn't happen again to another black man. You know, hopefully it stops here. But you know, I think about it like this. I believe it's gonna make a change, but there's always gonna be ignorant people out there. You know,
That's right. That's right. That's right.
there's always gonna be somebody just doing something stupid or something crazy. So hopefully it stops, but we just don't know. We don't know. But hopefully it makes a change. You know, in a police department. You know, hopefully police would think before they do something crazy like that again.
That's
You
right.
know, but we just don't know what the future holds or what's gonna happen in the future. You know, but
That's the unknown. Like you said,
yeah,
we don't know what's
it's
gonna happen. You know,
we
we
don't
don't we
know.
don't we don't know. And you hear more of the families that stuff has happened to them, but they don't have justice. And
Yeah.
man, it is almost like you know you want the best to happen. You want the best to come out of people. You want the good
Hmm.
to come out of people. And so
Right.
there's no easy fix.
Yeah. It's not. It's not. I think
And there's
the
no
thing. Yeah.
it's almost like what I didn't get a chance to look at the testimony of George Floyd's brother. I have to go watch it.
Hmm.
But I saw a piece on the news and it said, my brother died for $20.
Right. $20
It's like,
in
wow,
2020, and he said in 2020,
in
in
2020,
20 $20.
$20 in 2020, right? And
Yeah.
and and you just think about that, man. Like, what what is it that warrants the law to take a life of another person?
Mm-mm-mm.
And listen, and I know, man, in the armed forces, we would train, kill or be killed.
Mm.
And I understand that some of the law enforcement I train that way. You have a threat, then you can actually, make that threat, decrease the threat. But
Mm.
sometimes, I think we may be going overboard to try to reduce the threat. Like I even look
I,
at some of the protesters. I'm like, listen, I'm like, all right, so somebody started screaming at you, and then you pepper sprayed them. Like, what? It's
mm,
like you couldn't
mm,
just walk away, or you
crazy.
couldn't just stay in your ground and couldn't back up, or like, the other thing I was thinking, I was like, I mean, we have all this great technology. Why do you all just make like plastic barriers or something? I mean, like, come on. Like, if
Mm,
you wanted to keep people from moving forward, maybe just put up a plastic barrier. Y'all just stand behind a
mm,
plastic barrier with your trucks or whatever. And I mean,
mm.
and somebody said
Yeah.
it. One person said it at a retail store that got messed up. I think it was in North Carolina, and she said, I have insurance. I could buy more goods for my store,
Hmm.
but you can't
Right.
bring back a life. And yes,
Can't.
I'm
They
upset
can't.
that somebody messed up my business. Yes, I'm upset that they stole my clothing and stuff. But we can't bring back that brother's life. And until
Can't.
people hear the cry of people,
Mm-hmm.
we're not gonna move forward. Until people listen, to the cry of young people, man. Listen, young people are totally different than when we were in the 80s and 90s growing up.
Different.
Young
Different.
people want something to happen now. And if you don't bring it to them now, you're gonna get fired.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
and politicians and leaders, y'all need to know, listen, a young person's gonna ask you a couple of times. And if you don't help them out with that thing, it's either they're gonna do it themselves or they're gonna go past you.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Mm-hmm.
stuff, there's no joke. Hey, what's up, Rolanda? How you doing? Thanks for jumping in. We're just
Yeah.
having a conversation, my brother, myself, Akbar,
Mm-hmm.
about brothers from the African descent, just talking about things
Mm-hmm.
about experience, and talked a little bit about
Mm-hmm.
1992 Rodney King when me and my brother was walking home from, well, we was going to get on a second bus to go home, and people thought we were rioting. The cops, hit my brother, arrested my brother, and I hurt my foot, almost broke it. And the sad
Mm-hmm.
part is that people need to hear from us.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said, listen, if you're silent, then you're part of the problem. And so this is the reason why I wanted to do this post, man, have a conversation with you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, this is real stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you think about it, right, and we didn't even talk about men from our community not even being in the home, not being no present, right? And if you think about it, you look at past historical movies and TV shows, and when you have a male slave and a strong male slave, when they got to a certain point to break them, they would take them away from their family. They would take them away from the things that they love to break them down to comply, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, taking men away from their family, incarcerating them, restraining them, breaking them down. Oh yeah, you know what? I got a great story. I totally forgot about it. So our grandfather was one of the first Black Marines in the United States Marine Corps, right? He went to Monfort Point. He just got a congressional medal, and we're still working on how we do that. And this COVID-19 presented, to grandma and stuff like that. But there was a story about a Marine that went to Monfort Point, and he went into the city, and he was arrested because they thought he was impersonating a Marine, and the white Marines had to go and tell him, like, listen, he's not impersonating a Marine, he is a Marine. So our grandfather on our father's side was one of the first Black Marines that went to Monfort Point in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. So people that say that people don't respect the armed forces, people that don't respect police officers, law enforcement. We have people in the armed forces. I've served in the armed forces. We have people that were in the police, law enforcement, retired, served, their country, their city, their state. So, there's not saying that we're talking about those people. What we're talking about is institutions. And that's why people get all mixed up. It's the institutional laws, policies, and procedures that put people in positions of power over other people. In order for slavery to happen, a Black man in Africa or a Black woman in Africa had to take their friends, their family, and then sell them to somebody else because they had power, right? And so, people wake up. This stuff just doesn't happen, like it just happened yesterday. No, things been going on for a long time, and it's time for us, and I'm glad we're having a conversation, brother, man. I think it's just showing the realism. What's on our heart, what's on our mind, what are we thinking?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I think Aunt Laverne just joined. Hey, Auntie,
Oh,
love you
hi,
very much.
Laverne. Hi,
Hey,
Laverne.
Auntie, thank you for jumping in, man. Akbar and myself,
Mm-hmm.
man, we just been having a conversation as brothers, uh,
Mm-hmm.
from African descent, um,
Mm-hmm.
just sharing our experience, being,
Yeah.
growing up, our experience of, who we
Mm-hmm.
are, interactions with, law enforcement, but truly what's on our heart, So, anything else?
Yeah.
I know I talked a little bit, but and I was quite had questions for you. But anything else you want to share, Ak, man?
Um. Well, if any young people listening, you know, maybe under the age 20 and under, just I would say just study your history, travel as much as you can. If you could travel to some of the historic sites, like in Atlanta, you got the Martin Luther King memorial, you got the Martin Luther King museum. I've been there. I've been to I think it was Montgomery, Alabama, where they have some of the Martin Luther King museum or memorials. Just travel and try to learn your history, learn about the people, the leaders that came before you, your ancestors.
Mm,
Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass, Noble Drew Ali. And just learn and see what those people have done in the past to get some of the laws changed, back in those days in the 60s and the 50s and 70s. Just learn your history, especially to the people, the young generation in this generation. Just try to learn your history. Don't just stay in your city and think that's it, that's all you have. Just try to travel as much as you can, and because traveling is educational. You learn a lot, you know.
yeah.
Um,
Feel free if anybody has any questions for us. You want to
yeah,
ask brothers, something. You
yeah.
talk about Martin Luther King. I had to go look it up because I get my facts straight. Right, he was 39 years old when he was assassinated.
Mm-hmm.
He was assassinated in 1968, 8 years before we were born.
Mm,
Was it?
mm.
Hey, that wasn't a long time, from
No,
when he died to where we was born, and then also where we are
no.
now. And he was 39
Mm,
years old, man, and we're in our 40s. So
mm,
just think about that.
mm,
He didn't live longer than we lived, and he gave his
mm,
life for us to set us up to where we are now today. So we could vote
mm,
freely, live freely, get a house freely,
mm,
right? Walk in the streets. But guess what? He, right? All right, it will. I like right. If you are from Dominican Republic, we are Afro Caribbean. All right, I like that. Black, right? So, um, you know, so uh, one of the things, man, it's no joke that people gave their life. There was people when they were put on the slave ship didn't make it to America, right? There were people that jumped off the ships because they were like, listen, man, I don't think I can take this.
mm.
People have paid the way for us. People have
Mm.
marched for us, not
Right.
just African people, but all types of people. People now
Mm,
of all different races and faces and creeds and colors
mm,
are marching. They're not marching just for George Floyd. They're marching for humanity, and they're
mm,
marching to
mm.
say somebody needs to listen now versus you
Right.
just talking to
Mm,
me, right?
mm.
You know,
Yeah.
all, all over this world, people are marching. All this world, people are protesting because there needs to be a change. People are crying out,
Mm,
and if their
mm,
cries are not heard, they will act up. I'm just saying. I'm just gonna say it like that. So,
mm.
other questions,
Yeah.
comments in it that you have, Aka? Any questions that people have for us? You know, um,
Well, I want to say, I thank you for, you know, presenting this opportunity for me, to come on and speak. Um, and I thank God that we have this technology, where we could do things like this, have these conversations over the air so everybody could see, you know, uh, it's a blessing. It's a blessing that we have this, you know. Um, and we also have on Laverne. She does her shows
Mm.
on MNN, Manhattan Neighborhood Network.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so I think we have to use this technology. We definitely have to take advantage of it and use it. And it's just a blessing. It's a blessing that we have this. Cause like we said earlier, when we was young in the 80s, we'd have this. But back in Martin Luther King days, in those days, they didn't have this technology, but they was doing a whole lot.
Yeah,
They was
man.
doing a whole lot.
Yo,
They did whatever.
they got people together. They got people
They
together,
got
man.
people together, and they didn't have cell phones. They didn't have Facebook. They didn't have all of that technology, but they got it done by any means necessary.
Enemies
So
necessary, right? Hey,
so
Will has a good question. And maybe we might throw that back on Will. What is the most powerful a minority-owned business can do to shift the power to our communities? Can you elaborate a little bit more? You can put some more comments there, Will. As it relates to shifting power to our communities, what do you mean by that? Um, you know, and one of the things I want to we use the word a lot about minority. The big word I like to talk about is being underrepresented, meaning that
mm,
you are not represented at the table when decisions, policies, economic policies are made. You're not like let me give you an example. So over the last couple of all this COVID-19 happened stuff, I've been helping a lot of small business out to get financing or grants, and somehow people just miss the mark because they didn't get the information right. They might not be plugged into the right places. Like I know one banker, he already told me, listen, I already called the people that I wanted to give loans to with this new payroll protection program, and I had a list before it even came out. So we are underrepresented being at the tables where decisions are being made, and we have to figure out a way to shift the power. Robert Smith, I think he's a billionaire. I think he paid off a bunch of the HBCU. He went to HBCU graduation and paid off that debt. He said, "Listen, man, we have to look at wealth transfer right about now. We have to looking at the opportunities that are happening in the government for economic disbursements of money, grants, forgivable loans, and we got to request that." So that's the big move. We got to be at the table. We got to vote, right? We got to sit on the city council. We got to be the mayor. We have to be, the congressman, the senator, the chair lady of something. We have to be at the table. We have to be on a school board. We have to be the superintendent. We have to run for office. We have to put people in place. And sometimes that is people don't want to do that, right? People don't want to put themselves out there because they feel that they don't have the knowledge and experience. Let me tell you something, man. I felt that way. I'm doing a current role where I'm teaching business owners how to grow their revenue and grow their employee base in a program called Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses. And I didn't think I had the experience or the knowledge to do it because everybody else had PhDs and stuff. But someone called me from a different race and says, "I think you can do a great job." We have the knowledge, we have the experience, but we're scared to step up. It's time for us to step up right now. We got to step up, right? So, share. All right, we'll
I
also put some
believe
comments in there. So share, I'll read his comment.
to what Will said. I believe one of the best things or good things a minority owned business owner can do is to keep giving jobs to the young people in the community, black
Mm,
people in the communities, expand their business into different cities where they, so they could give more jobs, employ more people.
Yeah.
Especially to the people that has a felony record that can't get a job in a big company that won't give them a job because of their record. Maybe give some jobs to people that has felonies, so they don't have to go out and do criminal things,
That's
you
right.
know. And also, that made me think about all of these celebrities, rappers, entertainers, athletes that have money that haven't gone back to their community and built anything, started a business in the community where they came from. They should be putting their money. I think this is the time where they need to take their money and put some businesses into the communities where they came from, where they was born or grew up at, and so they could give some jobs,
So
you
true.
know.
So true.
Because look what's happening with the COVID-19. They're not able to go out there and perform or do what they used to do to make money. So
Right.
I think the money that they do have now, they need to take some of that money and open up some businesses, and so they could give out some jobs, and
Yeah,
that would
man.
help. That would help the young people. That would keep the young people from going out and doing criminal activity.
Mm.
So that would definitely be a powerful move for our communities. And not, in some of these churches, big churches in our communities, that's bringing in a lot of money. They need to open up a lot of businesses, and that would definitely help the community, because there's plenty of churches that's bringing in a lot of money in some of these low income communities, and they're not putting any of that money back into the community. So definitely.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. And
that was
you talk
that was
about
a good
recycling.
question, Will. That
Yeah,
was
you talk
a
a good
good
question.
question.
Yeah, you talk
Yeah.
about recycling money. There's a like a thing that um, money gets recycled maybe in like Asian communities like 5 or 6 times before it leaves it, and in the black community like maybe 1 or 2 times. And so,
Mhm.
how do you get
Mhm.
and Will, that's a good question because I do a lot of help with minority business owners to get contracts and negotiation contracts. And the biggest thing I tell people, you got to be in the game versus what I hear a lot of minority owned businesses that, man, I don't want to put in a bid because I'm not going to get it. Well, if you don't put in a bid, you're not going to be in the game. And so what I train people to do is that get in the game,
Mhm.
put in the offer, and that's how you market your business. And then you call up the person and say, listen, I put in 5, 6, 7 bids. Like, I didn't receive anything. What's going on here? You have the conversation. You keep on talking to them about it. But then also you got to have people. And that's why we're talking about voting, and people need to vote. And that's why you have to have people in the city council that sits on the finance committee that makes those decisions, right? That puts in
Mhm.
the executive orders and the laws where it can change stuff so um, more minority business owners could receive more contracts. So good question, man. That means that we got to step up.
Mhm.
People, we got to
Got
we
to.
got to step up, right? You know.
Mhm.
Anybody else have any questions for us? Have any comments? I think we've been talking for like an hour and a half, man. This is good stuff,
Mhm.
though. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
uh,
Oh yeah.
and I thank you as being one of my oldest brothers that
Oh
you
yeah.
decided to be a part of this. So
Right.
usually sometimes when I
Right.
ask people that I want to, let's do a Facebook Live or interview on something else, they were like, "Nah, I'm not ready yet. I'll get back to you." So I want to thank you for
Oh
taking
yeah.
your time.
You welcome. You
So
welcome. Yeah.
listen,
Thank
anybody
you.
else? Any
Thank
other
you.
questions? If not, maybe we should shut it down and maybe we'll do another
Mhm.
one another time.
Oh yeah. I think maybe we need to do it once a week. At
Oh,
least once a week, yeah, or at least
yeah,
once a month. Keep it
yeah.
going.
Hey,
Keep it
Denise
going.
Giles, man, Denise Giles. That's from Andrew Jackson, right?
Andrew Jackson.
I think she just gave
Andrew
us a thumbs
Jackson.
up. Andrew
How you
Jackson.
doing, Denise? Andrew
Wow, I think
Jackson.
yeah, I think now it's called is it Campus Magnet or something like that?
Yeah,
So
yeah, I think
um,
so. Yep.
Man, you know what I used to remember about a high school, man. The high school we went to in Queens, man. I did not like going to lunch. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not
Yeah.
like going. I man, listen. I am a person. I don't like a lot of craziness. I always remember going
Mm,
there for the lunchroom. I think I went to lunch. I don't maybe once or twice, and it used out of control. And I'm like,
I
I'd
gotta
rather
go.
wait and go when I'm finished school. I'll go out, and that's why I met one of our good friends. That's how we change happens. Keep it going. That's what we're trying to change.
Hmm.
Thanks for listening to us. And that's why I met Dwayne Brunson, a good friend
Hmm.
Bo.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
that we're still friends now. So you know,
Yeah,
he,
that school was something else. I mean, that we made it through. It was a rough school, but we made it through, you know. And I definitely, I understand. I know what you're talking about. That lunch, man.
the
People in
lunch
there
was no
playing
joke.
cards, gambling.
Oh man, it was no
Yeah,
joke.
it was
Setting
something
the
else.
garbage cans on fire. That's what I remember they used to do all the
Yeah,
time.
that school was rough. That school was
No
rough,
joke.
but we made it
No
through.
joke. Yeah, we made it
We
through,
made it
man. So
through.
listen,
Made it through.
God blesses those that
Hmm.
that says, you know what, man, I'm not gonna do everything perfectly,
Hmm.
but I need to do a lot of things in a good way.
Hmm.
And so it's
Hmm.
not easy. It's not easy being who we are. Laugh out loud, she said to me. It's not easy. It's not easy sharing, what we're sharing today. There's many people that are scared to share, um,
Hmm.
what's on their heart because they don't know how they're gonna be received. They don't know if people are gonna respect them. Let me tell you the story. This was wild, right? Deborah and I was laughing at it a lot the other day. Deborah's my wife, and so there was a donut shop here um, in Rhode Island that they said they wasn't gonna give a discount to police or law enforcement. Very
Mm.
well known donut shop here, and people were outraged that the owner made that decision.
Mm.
But then the next day he said that he was sorry he made that decision. But what I think he did was, how can I get a community that that usually doesn't respect the other race to be outed about what they think, but then also spur a conversation. And people on that Facebook post on that Twitter were saying, "Hey, I'm never gonna shop there again," and they disrespecting law enforcement and the military. And other people say, "I'm gonna drive from another state to come and buy donuts from your shop." And what he did was created a conversation, even though everybody didn't agree, but he created a conversation. And so I want to say to people, what can you do? Have conversations with other people, not just the people that you like, not the people that you respect, but the people that don't think like you, right? The people that might not like you, because when conversations happen, sometimes people come together and meet at a common ground, and that's what needs to happen in our country. That's what needs to happen with all of our politicians. They have to have a conversation instead of saying the Republicans are not going to do this because we want to pass this legislation. The Democrats are not going to do this because we want to pass this legislation. Y'all need to have a conversation and come together for the common good of the people of this America, right? America's not great if we have one party that's going to do whatever they want to do. America is great when all parties work together, the administration works together, people work together,
Mhm.
leaders work together. Where it falls apart is when we don't work together. So, I'm praying for unity, man. I'm praying for wisdom, that God give wisdom to our politicians and our leaders that have decision making over us. Um,
Amen. Hmm.
because leaders have a lot of power. Leaders make a decision to take us to war. Leaders make a decision not to take us to war. And the power is in the leaders' hands. And this is where the leaders have to stand up. Yes, it's hard. Yes, I understand you don't want to listen to people that don't have a lot of experience that you have. And, you have pedigrees and you have degrees. So what? What are you going to
Hmm.
do to save this world, save this country, and help out the
Hmm.
people that are asking you? It's time to
Hmm.
change.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Amen. Amen.
I know.
Yeah.
I feel like I just want to. That made me happy because
Mhm.
I was second in charge of a church body. So I know it's hard making decisions for people. But if the people
Mm.
are, but if the majority of the people are screaming out, that means that somebody needs to listen. If not,
Yeah.
it's not going to be good. And so many people are
Mhm.
screaming out. No matter what race, no matter what color, no matter what religion you are, people are screaming out from all over the world to say
Mhm.
some has to be changed.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep. You're right. Yep.
So I don't know. You have any
Yeah.
last words, man? I think we said enough. I think we conversated enough.
Yeah.
Any last words to the people?
I just want to say thanks for listening. Whoever joined in, thanks for listening to our story. Um, Me and Karriem Kanston, Akbar and Karriem Kanston story, and hopefully we could, keep this up and keep connecting. And we just pray to God that we can make a change in this world, you know, because we
Awesome.
need it. Everybody needs it.
That's right. That's right. And I want
That's
to thank
it.
everybody also for listening to. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Denise said what goes back to the communities. Yes. And thank everybody for listening, watching, for being a part
Mm-hmm.
of this, for people's comments, for people's questions. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we just wanted to share today, and maybe we'll share again. So thank
Mm-hmm.
you all very much. Talk to you all soon. Peace.